Greetings, everyone. I'd like to chat to you about a workshop that I run called Being the Expression. And fundamentally, it's for emerging artists, established artists, intermediary, as well as beginners, and even those who are just looking to explore their creative essence and how it can develop their way of being, etc. And I've come to this conclusion, and in fact, in developing this workshop through the YouTube sessions that I've been running on a regular basis for the last 2 years, basically, where every morning, early hours, stupid o'clock, as one friend of mine calls it. I start at 10 to 4 in the morning until an hour long session until 10 to 5. And I've found during the process of the last 2 years of running this weekday mornings, is that I've developed not only as an artist, but as an individual, as a thinker, as a listener, as an observer, and it's really helped me such a great deal in my life. And I've come to realize so many things about not only about myself but about the world around me, and how we interpret. So I've put together this workshop and run it a couple of times very successfully so far, with where people engage with the subject in a way of expression rather than just seeing and copying the reference image, etc. And this is what many of us do. And in fact, to a large degree, I also did this. And perhaps not to the same degree as some do, but in terms of, you have a reference image that you want to translate onto your canvas or onto your paper, medium, whatever it is, using whatever medium you choose, to tools, etc. But you want to translate that image, your reference image, as accurately as possible, without any fault, and controlling every single minuscule step of the way throughout, so that you end up with this piece that is ultimately as perfect as possible. But I think perhaps, and this is the thing that I've come to realize, is that along the way, the artwork loses its soul. It actually doesn't get a chance, an opportunity to develop its soul, because we as the artist are trying to micromanage the process as such. And what I've found, and it's actually come as a great relief to me along the way, is in letting go. So I begin my artwork. This is one of them behind me, by the way. And I begin the artwork first of all by just looking into the reference image, beginning to feel it, and so then I begin and I create my composition, etc. Very roughly and loosely. From there on forth, I essentially let go of the process. I recognize and realize that I am only one aspect of that artwork coming together in its creation, and along with all the other tools. So for example, I use mixed medium of pastels, charcoal pastels, Conte crayon, and invariably a little acrylic as well. And all of these tools, including the paper itself that I use, all of those aspects are playing a role towards creating this work of art, or manifesting this work of art. So, in the process of letting go, we are feeling into the subject. And for example, let's take seascapes for example. So I do a lot of seascapes, and now a great deal more landscapes as well, which I'm thoroughly enjoying for the same reasons as what I'm about to describe to you. So I begin by actually feeling where I'm placed. So let's take the seascape, for example, behind me. I feel the sound of the waves thundering in towards the shoreline. I feel the wetness of the sand and the shore break washing over my feet. I feel the coolness of the water. I hear the sounds. I smell the aromas. I essentially encapsulate that atmosphere as if I was there. So basically the reference image then fades into oblivion, fades into the background, because then the artwork begins to create itself. And as many of you know who do follow me on YouTube, I talk the entire way through my sessions, virtually the entire way through. I prattle away, I talk rubbish, I talk whatever I think. I just mental meanderings, I call them. And being a guy, I can't multitask, so I can't concentrate and talk. So you must know that when I'm talking, when I'm able to talk and express what I'm doing and share what I'm doing and the tools that I'm using and the techniques, etc., that I have let go of managing the process, and that the artwork is then creating itself, freeing me up for having fun and enjoying the experience, and also the surprise as to how the artwork ultimately turns out in the end. So even for just as much as those who are watching the sessions, I'm enjoying its development and the subtle nuances and what have you that tend to come up. If I use perhaps my palette knife with some acrylic paint, for example, and not having an absolute, having to be perfect, just allowing it, scraping it on and allowing it to form itself, to develop its essence, to develop its soul. And that's the whole point of these workshops, is to allow your art, your creation, being the creator, to let go and allow the artwork to develop its essence, its soul. And it speaks a great deal more as a result. Each and every single artwork then is perfect because it's created itself. It's not been done in parrot fashion. It's not been copied from a reference image. Right from the very beginning, right from the get-go of just making the first mark, creating the composition, etc., developing areas of light and shade and contrast and so on and so forth. And that's what I basically do every single time, so that I allow the artwork to unfold over a series of sessions. Whether it takes 2 sessions or 3 or 4 or 5 is irrelevant to me. It just has that process. I give myself an hour every morning, and that's my personal journey. But what I really want to share with you is this essentially feeling the way through and feeling what needs to emerge. So in other words, approaching it from an emotive perspective standpoint, rather than a simply eye to paper, eye to canvas scenario. Rather feel it, and in doing so, you energize the artwork itself as a result. So you're interpreting the energy rather than the visual, if you know what I'm saying. So to cut a long story short, and I don't want to make this longer than 10 minutes, that's what I'm offering. So we do this during a 3-hour workshop, roughly 3 hours. You bring along whatever medium you choose to work in, whether it's oils or acrylics or pastels or whatever it might be, watercolors. We have a short period of time to work this through. So given that we have about 2 hours to create an artwork, we keep it small. So we supply some small A4 size canvases, and then we'll work with a seascape. So we'll all work with the same seascape with various different interpretations, of course, according to medium. So yes. Anyway, I'd like to have you guys join. It would be a great deal of fun. It's a wonderful experience. And so do get into contact. I shall also be posting up the text with that, and a little bit of intro, and also costings, etc., and venue and all of that sort of stuff. So just wanted to give you a brief, not so brief as it turns out, introspection into the essence of what the artwork is, at least but what the workshop is all about. So yes, do join me, and thank you for listening, and hope to see you soon. Bye guys.